Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Fellow inmates caused Todd Chrisley to break down in tears. Since a presidential pardon saw him get an early release from prison, Todd Chrisley has been sharing his story about his time behind bars. In one recent share, the Chrisley Knows Best star revealed an emotional moment concerning him and other inmates. Todd Chrisley recently shared an emotional moment during his daughter's podcast. Todd Chrisley and his family previously became known to audiences through the USA Network series Chrisley Knows Best. In 2022, however, Todd and his wife Julie were convicted of a variety of charges, including tax evasion and bank fraud. The two were initially sentenced to spend a combined 19 years behind bars. However, the two saw an early release this past May thanks to a presidential pardon from President Donald Trump. Since their release, Todd and Julie have been sharing their story with various outlets. The couple recently appeared on their daughter Savannah's Unlocked podcast. During a recent episode, Todd talked about what it was like during his time leaving prison. With Savannah noting he gave away a lot of his stuff, Todd reportedly left with only a small notebook on him. When staff asked Todd about the notebook, he reportedly shared that it contained all the notes I'm going to use to tell on y'all when I get out, and it's under my legal name. Todd then shared the send-off when he left. He shared, all the men had lined up. Savannah commented that she had seen this when she drove up. The Chrisley Knows Best star revealed powerful words that were shared with him as he left. Todd shared, they all lined up in the lobby, and they started chanting when I walked out. And I started crying. And they said, don't leave us behind. It was at this point that Todd emphasized a promise he made. And I'm not going to leave those guys behind because I know how they have been abused from the case managers, from the counselors, not doing what they're supposed to be doing. As previously reported, this was a promise that Todd has made previously in the time since his release. He even shared stories about the men he met and his desire to help them at a press release just a few days following his original release. On social media, fans have also been sharing their own reactions to Todd's words. Many had hoped that, with his name, he could make a difference. A few even emphasized that Todd was making something positive out of his time in prison. Some comments included, it was a day unlike any other at the minimum security federal prison camp in Pensacola, Florida, where Todd Chrisley, former reality TV star of Chrisley Knows Best, is currently serving his 12-year sentence for bank fraud and tax evasion. What started out as a quiet, mundane morning quickly turned into one of the most emotionally charged days since Todd first stepped through the gates of prison. Today, shocking news emerged. Todd Chrisley broke down in uncontrollable tears after a heartbreaking incident involving his fellow inmates. Sources close to the prison facility revealed that Todd, who has worked hard to keep his composure and present a calm, faith-filled front during his incarceration, finally hit a breaking point when a group of inmates launched a cruel verbal attack targeting his family and faith. According to reports, the situation unfolded during a routine recreation break when Todd sat alone at a shaded table in the prison yard, reading from a devotional book and quietly writing in a journal. He tries to keep his head down and focus on positive things, one insider shared. He writes letters to his family, reads the Bible daily, and even tries to offer support to other inmates when he can. But not everyone in here sees that as strength. That's when, according to eyewitnesses, a group of 3 inmates, known for their rowdy behavior and dislike of celebrity inmates, walked by and began taunting Todd in a way that cut deeper than usual. Hey, preacher man, still think Jesus gonna get you out of here? One of them reportedly shouted. Another inmate followed up with a cruel jab. Saw your daughter on Instagram crying again. Looks like daddy's not coming home to fix her mess. Todd reportedly tried to ignore the comments at first, but it was the final remark that truly broke him. They said something about Julie, his wife. About her being in prison alone, and how they bet she cries herself to sleep. That's when Todd just froze. You could see it in his eyes. He wasn't angry. He was hurting. Later, Todd stood up, turned his back on the group, and walked briskly to a nearby tree before collapsing onto a bench. That's when he reportedly began to cry, openly and uncontrollably. Some inmates described it as gut-wrenching, with tears streaming down his face as he clasped his hands in prayer and murmured quietly. He was whispering things like, "Lord, give me strength, and protect my family," another inmate shared. You could tell this wasn't just about him. It was about everything he's trying to hold together on the outside. Prison staff were called in to de-escalate the scene, but no physical altercation occurred. According to those present, even the taunting inmates grew silent when they realized the weight of what they had done. "It was like they didn't expect him to break," said the source. "He's always walking around like he's still on TV, calm, confident, polite. But today, we all saw that he's human too." A counselor reportedly checked on Todd later in the day, and according to insiders, he admitted for the first time that the emotional toll of prison life was becoming unbearable. He told them, "I try to stay strong for Savannah, for Grayson, for Chloe. But I'm just a man. And sometimes it hurts so much I can't breathe." Todd's daughter, Savannah, who has been the most vocal and public supporter of her parents during this tumultuous chapter, posted a cryptic Instagram story just hours after the incident took place. It featured a photo of a sunrise with the words, "Even the strongest warriors cry when no one is watching." Fans quickly speculated that her post was in response to her father's emotional breakdown, and support poured in across social media. One user tweeted, "Todd Chrisley may be behind bars, but that man's love for his family is unbreakable. Praying for him." Another wrote, "Fame fades. What's left is a man torn apart by loss and distance. Let's show some compassion." Back at the prison, sources said that several inmates later approached Todd to quietly offer support. One man, who's been inside for nearly a decade, reportedly said, "I didn't like him at first, thought he was fake. But seeing him cry like that, man, it hit me. He's just like the rest of us. Maybe worse, because his family's on the outside hurting too." Todd, who once lived a lavish life filled with designer suits, luxury homes, and Bravo cameras following his every move, now spends his days in a dormitory-style bunk, wearing government-issued clothes and eating from a metal tray. Yet those closest to him say it's moments like this that reveal the deepest transformation of his soul. "He's learning humility the hard way," said a former Chrisley Knows Best producer who has kept in contact with the family. "But he's also learning what it means to be truly dependent on faith, not fame. He's shedding layers, some ugly, some painful. But what's left is the core of who he really is." While there's no official word yet on whether the prison will take disciplinary action against the inmates who provoked the incident, many expect that staff will increase monitoring and counseling access for Todd following the emotional breakdown. As for Todd himself, sources say that although he was shaken, he has returned to his daily routine, head bowed, Bible in hand, and heart still clinging to hope. "This is a man who's lost everything in the material sense," the insider said. "But he hasn't lost his fight, or his love for his family, and in here, that's what keeps you alive." Only time will tell how much more Todd Chrisley will endure behind bars. But after today, one thing is clear. Beneath the sarcasm and Southern charm is a man who is, more than ever, desperate to hold on to faith, forgiveness, and the fragile thread that connects him to the life he left behind.